What's so new about Wednesday today? We're having another lovely week in the world of big time. Another week has gone by, and what has been happening? Well, token price has been ranging between 28 cents and 32 cents this week. There's been a refining event that started Friday and ended Monday. We also have week 2 of Leaderboard 4 weekly crafting challenges that have come out. We are also on our first week of Midweek Madness that has started on Tuesday and it goes until Thursday. I didn't even think we were going to have Midweek Madness this leaderboard, but it's back. So we'll talk about that. And then lastly, we also have to talk about an announcement Big Time made about making changes to deposit and withdrawals regarding NFTs. It's an interesting change, and I think it was a good idea, so we'll get into that in a little bit. But first things first, like we always do, we're going to be talking about token price. Big time token price. If we take a look at the daily, you can kind of see we've had these two pumps. We were hoping to see some more price action similar, but we haven't seen it yet. What's going to happen? Last week, Wednesday, we had just seen the token price drop down to 28 cents, and I had talked about how, if we break through the 32 cent support line here, yeah, we could see a free fall all the way down to 26 cents. We've seen close, 27 cents ish, but I said that we have a lot of work. There's a lot of resistance between us getting above 40 cents again to us getting up towards $1 again. And there's the local support and resistance that have just been created over time. But then I also introduced this concept of estimated moving averages and what that can really mean, right? So talked about how last week we have to break through a lot of these estimated moving average lines here to see higher highs. So it's not been so great. We have a lot of resistance that we need to break through. Kind of been playing out as I expected. Last week I said that we'd have to be able to turn 32 cents into support before we could even think about ranging higher. And we tried last Monday. We broke above for a second, but we were thoroughly denied all the way back down to like 29 cents the next day. So it's been a bit rough. Still haven't managed to turn 32 cents resistance into support. And on the daily, if we look at the 20 EMA isn't even close to where we're at right now, and we still have to turn that into support, I think, until we can actually start seeing some upward price action. So what I would expect to see is once this 200 EMA reaches around the 32 cent support range here, we might see an opportunity for the big time token to sort of flip 32 cents and the 20 EMA into support at one go, and then we might see it go up to 36 cents and higher, hopefully. If we look at the daily RSI, we can see that it hasn't really been able to break above the middle of its range here. We just don't have a lot of buy pressure right now. The stars will all sort of align, right? The 20 EMA is going to hit the 32. When that happens, maybe we'll see the daily RSI move up to the top of its range again, and with that, maybe a big bunch of positive price action. When we look at the 4 hour, the EMA, what we see here is that the token price has been fighting against both the 20 and the 50 EMA resistance lines here, and it's tried to turn them into support. Like on Monday, tried to turn that into support and just didn't stick at all. So not enough buy pressure. We went all the way back down to 27 cents, and we're back up here sort of bumping in between the 20 EMA, the 50 EMA, and this 32 support line. So this is a lot, like a big area of resistance. It's going to be tough to break. Same thing if we look at the daily RSI, like right now, it's looking a little bit overbought. So we'll probably see the token price go back down towards 29 cents before it tries to make another move up sometime later in the week, maybe before next Wednesday, but probably, I don't really have my hopes up, but same sort of thing. Like if we see the 100 EMA here, this teal line, if it reaches 32 cents and we have a lot of buy pressure and we can turn all three of these estimated moving averages into support, that's when we can probably start seeing some upward momentum. So yeah, we'll probably still be ranging between 20 and 32 cents for the next little bit here, but we can always hope that sometime between now and next week we see a huge bunch of price action. It remains to be seen. Like right now, Bitcoin's actually not doing too bad, 70k range, which is close to the top, but altcoins are dragging behind in general. Like even Solana is having a hard time keeping up and bringing in that positive price action. So what we might see is a cycle cycle from Bitcoin into altcoins, Solana, Ethereum, and big time included. With that, there might be a good enough pump. But I would just want to say, like, something that I've been noticing is if we look at the daily, right, we are seeing lower highs and lower lows, right? Like, we could draw a trend line right from here to here, right? And if you do that, then what do we expect to see? As a guess, are we going to see anything over 45 cents this next pump? Maybe not. We might not. So that's something to be mindful of. It looks like we have some sort of a trend going on here, lower highs and lower lows. So if we do see a pump in the future, this next month or so, this next couple of weeks, will it reach over 46 cents, 45 cents? It might not. So it's definitely something to think about. So that's the token price, guys. Next, let's talk about some refining stuff going on here. So Wednesday, we ended off talking about the Stygian stuff. That was basically all we got. We had them do a patch regarding the Stygian stuff. Nothing really special there. They also increased the spawn rates of the Easter schematics, and moving on. So Friday, they came out with a mega refining weekend event. Started Friday, ended on the 8th of April, which was Monday. So it cost 40% less shards to refine. So it's a huge deal when you're refining infused terracore and saturated terracore or lattice, right? Because it costs quite a bit to refine infused, and even to like refining infused, having 40% less augmented required, that's a great bonus. But it's not super beneficial for if you're just crafting augmented, because raw terracore and lattice is quite cheap. So 40% less of $1 is not super big of a deal, but 40% less of $10 or $20 or $50, that's a huge deal. So that was a great little bonus. Then also you can see they gave us extra leaderboard points. They said earn an additional 50% points. Let's just take a note of the fact that they're not saying double leaderboard points anymore. We're not earning double leaderboard points. We're earning an extra half a double. Anyways. So I think we'll probably see this a lot going into the next leaderboard. 50% bonus, but maybe not so often double. Anyways, moving on. We got week 2 of the leaderboard 4 challenges here, guys. Nothing special at all. Honestly, it's like a huge sleeper week when it comes to these challenges. Loot 150 time crystals, get 1,500 leaderboard points. Woo. Apply a golden bonus roll 3 times when refining infused terracore. That's not that easy to do. That could cost quite a bit of money to accomplish, and you only get 3,500 leaderboard points. So I mean, meh. And in that same vein, apply a golden bonus roll 3 times when recharging an hourglass. Not for any time, but only for a long recharge. Long recharges are expensive. I mean, you want a gold bonus roll when you're doing a long, if you could help it anyways, but it's hard to get. And it's hard to get because it costs a lot of mod chips when you're rolling anything for hourglasses. And this only gives you 1,500 leaderboard points. So skip over it, not interested. Then we have our first midweek madness of this leaderboard, guys. And I think it's great. I'm just sad because I'm not able to do any of it. I was not prepared. I don't have the liquidity, and I don't have the items that are required. Like, I only have 1 dagger. I have 1 uncommon dagger. I'd need another one, and I don't have the liquidity to pick another one up. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. What does this event do? First of all, you only require 2 of the previous rarity to craft the next one. So that's instantly a third savings right there, right? And then on the next part, you also get an extra 50% additional leaderboard points. So once again, not double leaderboard points, but still a nice chunk of leaderboard points here. And the thing that's the most exciting about this, guys, it goes from uncommon all the way up to legendary. So you can do this, like say you want to craft a mythic pair of shoulders, a mythic pair of dagger. You can do that, and it'll cost you a third of the price, or 2/3 of the price. And on top of that, you get more leaderboard points for it. So this is an awesome event. Awesome event. Only goes from yesterday, Tuesday, until tomorrow. So whoever is able to actually take advantage of this and craft anything, whether you're crafting rare shoulders, epic shoulders, legendary shoulders, mythic shoulders, this is an awesome event. So if you're able to take advantage of that, congratulations. I'm happy for you. And moving on, this is the final thing. So Big Time has released an announcement on Discord and Twitter today, guys, talking about something that they've been working on trying to combat. We've been seeing a lot of high rarity hourglasses, epics, legendaries, etc., getting withdrawn from the game game and then getting deposited into the game with hundreds of hours of time on them. And how is this happening, right? Well, there's could be like a couple scenarios. Best case scenario is there's somebody who has a huge time warden farm, like a lot of time wardens, and they are a bit like essentially a business, and they withdraw the hourglasses, they charge them, and then they send them back to people. Likely what they're doing is they're employing a lot of farmers, and they're bankrolling them by charging these hourglasses using lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of, yeah, it almost feels like they're duping or doing something like that. But best case scenario, they're not. They just are bankrolling everything, and then they're sending those hourglasses back to their army of farmers, and they take a primary amount of the cut of all the big time that these players earn, which isn't really great because essentially it's just very exploitative, and it technically is against the game's rules because I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to like have employ 1,000 farmers, right? So there's that. But worst case scenario, what people could be doing is essentially, I'm worried that what they're doing is they're withdrawing the NFTs from the game. They've found a way to mess with the metadata and change the metadata of that NFT, and then they just add however much time they want onto it and then deposit it back in the game. And then they skip the whole requirement of having to charge them at all, and they just free recharge. They just have all these legendary glasses that just have unlimited time on them, and none of the wiser. That's the worry that I have. So I think that's probably something that Big Time has been really worried about as well. People essentially, once you take the NFT out of the open loop ecosystem, it has all this metadata that gives it its qualities, right? Legendary, hourglass, but one thing could be the amount of time that's on it. And if there's a way, if they have found a way to just change the time to whatever they want, then that's a huge problem. So they've made an immediate change where now if you withdraw an hourglass NFT from the game with time on it, when you deposit it back into the game, it has 0 minutes on it, period. So I honestly think that's a good idea, just because the last thing we want is people figuring out a way to just basically print money in this game. The money has to go in order for money to come out, and if that's not happening, then that's a huge problem. So hopefully that is resolved, and hopefully we see this effect, because there's been a lot of farming going on in the game, a lot of people who are just farming and value extracting, and of course that affects the market all over negatively. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? I want to know if you guys are watching this in the future. Make sure you guys like, follow, throw down a subscribe, do all that stuff, but also make sure you're in the comments and tell me what you guys think about this change that Big Time has just released with their hourglasses. Do you think it's a good call? Do you think that this is a good way to combat the exploits that have been going on regarding hourglasses with way too much time on them somehow? I'd like to know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, if you guys are watching this in the future, don't forget to tell your moms about it. And yeah, I will see you guys next week.